This is our first episode where we talk about what Black America Cares really does. I've mentioned that not only will we discuss what other organizations and social entrepreneurs are doing, but we're going to talk about Black America Cares. Tonight, we're talking with Danielle. She's a single mom who went through some challenges, and Black America Cares was able to assist her. We gave her some financial assistance, and she was able to purchase groceries for her family, and it was a hand up. We try not to do handouts, but hand ups. So she'll share some of her story, and we will also talk about what Black America Cares has coming up. We have a few workshops and events that we're planning that will help serve the community. So if you want to know more, tune in. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking with a young lady who has benefited from the assistance that Black America Cares offers. As I've stated before, not only will we talk with other organizations and highlight what they do, but there will be times when we'll use this platform to also share the work that Black America Cares is doing in the community. Today we're talking to Danielle, and like so many of us, she's run into situations where there was more month than money. And we're going to have her share about herself, some of her challenges, some of her struggles, and how Black America Cares was able to step in and help her out during a difficult time. Hi, Danielle. How are you?
I'm fine, Kim. How are you? I'm doing well. I appreciate you having me on.
Well, I really, really appreciate you taking the time to share with us and with others how Black America Cares was able to be beneficial to you. That's really what we're all about.
Of course.
So I know that you are a single mom of two, um, and I know that you work, but tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Okay. Well, first, I do want to not so much as correct, but add to. I'm a mother of three. Um, I just want to mention it because it does add to my story. With adding to some of my challenges. But I actually lost one of my children a few years ago, and so I'm a mother of three. Though I proudly state that. Because gone but not forgotten, and I just want to make sure there's a lot of moms who have gone through that as well. So I just want to make sure that
Absolutely.
I recognize.
Absolutely. And I'm so sorry for your loss.
Yeah, I appreciate that heartfelt
Yeah,
notion, but we live with it and it's part of life, and I trust my creator. So with that being said, yes, I am a single mom, but I don't let that stop me. I'm out here hustling like everyone else is. And at times it's not great, but it is what we're working with, and I'm proud of what, I'm able to accomplish. Um, I am a chef by trade, but I stepped away from the business because I am struggling with some mental health challenges, and I'm not able to continue still being in that line of work. So now I'm a lunch lady, and I'm proud of doing that. But I'm still trying to establish myself um, as a business owner. And
okay. So, without getting too personal, can you share or would you mind sharing a little bit of what you needed at the time when Black America Cares assisted you?
yeah, no problem. We needed some groceries.
Mm.
Flat out, we were a little short, and I'm no longer receiving food stamps. I had just, after being unemployed for a little bit, gotten back to having that money rolling in, and balancing was becoming hard. Um,
So,
because we hadn't quite caught up.
so I'm not sure, and others may not be sure either. how does the whole thing work with the food stamps? Is it that when you work, you you can't get assistance, or is it does it go by a certain dollar amount, or how does that work?
A certain dollar amount, and they take your dollar amount before taxes. So based on what you make before taxes, they, will tell you you do or don't qualify. And I made just a couple cents more than I should, or like a dollar or something more than I should have, or something to that effect. Even though I work part time, I still didn't qualify. Um, or I think, let me retrace my steps. Actually, I think I qualified, but it was such a small amount that it really just wasn't worth everything that they were asking me
Mm,
for and to put forward to get that little small amount.
okay, okay, and I
It was like,
can imagine that with some of the things that the current administration is doing, that is
mhm.
probably going to get a lot worse for a lot of people.
Yes, I'm sure it is. And I mean, for a lot of us, honestly speaking, what's been beneficial to me is utilizing, the pantries across the city. And at times having that list has saved us a lot. Um, and there's times then I'm not able to get to the pantry, or I may have already been and just still don't have enough. But it's still a resource that's there, and I'm glad that it is.
So with the pantries, I I remember a lady a long, long time ago that worked at a pantry, and
Hmm.
people were donating all kinds of food. And so she called me one day and she told me that she had some leftover food, and well, not leftover, but the pantry had gotten full, and it was, not enough to store the food. So she brought the food to me,
Hmm.
and like this huge box, and everything in there was like box stuff and canned stuff. Like, and I don't say that ungratefully, because I was grateful. I mean, every little bit helps. I was a single mom of two also, so
Hmm.
that helped me at the time as well. But the question that I want to get to is, with the food pantries, is that all they offer you, or do you get meats and stuff that we really want to eat?
um so it's been my experience in some of the pantries, it's mostly box and canned items. Some do offer meat, some only offer meat items like maybe during the holidays. A lot of them, they do like share baskets situations where you're paying a very small amount and you get a little bit of everything. It's like, going shopping essentially. Someone else does it for you, but you don't get to pick what you want essentially. They just kind of give you something from every food group.
Okay.
But so yeah, a couple of years ago I've had that experience as well where, a lot of the stuff was like, what I'm supposed to do with this? I still got to go get something to put with it. But
Mm-hmm.
Um, but in my experience, most recently, um, they give you, depending on your family size, a certain amount of pounds of meat. Um, and you get sort of pickings of other things that are a variety of canned and boxed items.
Okay. Now, I we have helped several families and several individuals. So I don't, please forgive me, but I don't have in front of me exactly what Black America's. Well, I know we gave you money.
Hmm.
Um, can you tell how much it was that we gave you, and what you were able to do with that? How that assistance impacted you and your family?
Yes, actually, you gave me $100, and I was able to use it right then and there to go and get groceries. I had a hot plate. I think that was my issue, is that like my lights and stuff had gone off um at the moment. So I had not a hot plate. I just could use my stove still, like the pilot. So I was gonna make what I could, and I got some groceries to carry us over the weekend until I could get the stuff back on.
Mm. And I still it's just amazing to me. You're not somebody that doesn't work. You work.
Oh, girl, I hustle.
You work, but my thing is, but you still struggle, and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that's actually a large part of the reason why black I started Black America Kids, because there's so many people out here that and living in a place as expensive as the Washington D.C. area, it's oftentimes you just don't make enough even though you work. You have
Hmm.
to choose between paying a utility bill or buying groceries, or God forbid if you need some type of medication and things like that. So
Yeah, there's always this misconception that because if you have something at all, you should just be grateful and make it work. And it's not realistic. It's not realistic when cost of living and regular life factors in. You can make a dollar stretch, and we're really good at that. I've learned how to, you know, sort of buy a bag of rice and try to make 3, 4 meals out of it, and just do simple stuff like that. Where like for my family unit, it works, but there are people who have more kids than I do, and that kind of system just doesn't quite add up for them. So yeah, it's not fair. It's not
and
fair at all.
speaking of your kids, how does these challenges impact them? What do they know when? Well, I'm quite sure they know when things are tough because there's no groceries or the power is out. How do they handle that?
Um, I, my children are exceptional. I'm sure every parent will say that, but to me, for my journey, my children are exceptional. They take things in stride. They really, and also I'm big on like not trying to lose my stuff too badly in front of them because they feed off of my energy. So, sometimes to my disadvantage, I just sort of muscle through and put on that, it's going to be all right face. And they've learned to do the same thing. Um, they, because I've always worked as hard as I do, and I've always been a Jane of all trades, my children have never really, I can't say wanted or needed because we ain't doing that well, but, but they're comfortable and they don't ask for a whole lot. Like, I really am grateful to that. That like Foreman Mills is great for them. Like they're not greedy and they're really simple kids and they just take it in stride and they right there with me. What do we need to do to make it work? And that's a lot for children to have to bear.
Yeah.
Uh, it really is. But at 19 and 10, they do their best and. I'm sure it's affecting them in their own personal ways, but they're not really going to tell me too much because they don't want me to worry.
So do they? And if it's, I hope this isn't too personal, but the younger one, he's in school, elementary school. So does he qualify for like free school lunch and free breakfast and stuff like that?
Yeah, he
Oh, okay,
does.
okay, good.
He does, but he's a growing boy, and God knows the food quantities, they are almost like vacuums at any age, these little boys. So I mean, the meal holds him a little bit, but it's not enough. So
Hmm.
it's still he's a growing, like I said, a growing young man. I have to keep him fed, so I still have to have what I can at home,
Hmm.
to make sure he's growing appropriately.
So when we assisted you, when Black America Cares assisted you, that was a while ago. I think
Hmm.
maybe 3 or 4 months ago. How are
Hmm.
you doing now? And do you need anything now?
Um, no, I mean, I wouldn't say we're good, but I'm in a place where I'm able, and so yeah, I would. For me, I'm not. There's always something that when
Hmm.
you struggle and trying to make things happen for yourself. There's always something I'm sure that you could say you need, but really our unit right now, we don't want or need for anything immediately, and we're good. And I would just love to see somebody else, be able to get that hand if they need it.
So if you could do what you really, really want to do, like if you could just fulfill a passion of yours, what would that be? What would you be doing?
Oh man. That's such a huge question for me. Because like I said, I am a Jane of all trades, and I'm trying to figure out how to encompass all of those things because I feel there's a reason they've been given to me into one thing. But I bake. It's always been my passion to do cakes and candies and birthday parties. And face paint and do little birthday parties and stuff like that. So that's what I would love to do long term. Um,
Are
I
you
just love
are you doing any of that now?
small stuff, but while I am very good at hustling, I'm not great at pulling plans together. So that's one of my struggles right now is trying to figure out how. uh, so I'm doing small things. I face paint for free, don't get many paid gigs because I don't know how to sell myself. So I do a lot of free events and I bake cakes for friends and family here and there, but nothing mainstream or humongous for myself now.
So that's kind of like a perfect segue into my next question. Um, and that's how can organizations like Black America Cares help people and families like yours? And it sounds to me like one benefit would be to maybe do a workshop on, I guess, goal setting and entrepreneurship and things like that, so that um, people who have aspiring goals and ideas can kind of have some guidance as to how to put everything together.
I mean, yeah, even something is like we started with, and I hope you don't mind me mentioning it, but the vision board, like I enjoyed it,
Yeah.
and like it was big for me to be able to find words because that's where, and it for some people it seems so simple, like just do this or just say that, but like I'm a person, and maybe some people can relate, that has a lot of noise going on in my head. I've had a very hectic childhood and young adulthood, and am finding myself after having raised children for so many years and had to be there for so many other people. I'm now finding myself and making sense of myself and my worth, and that I'm capable of being able to even do something else other than what I've been doing. So I know for some it might just be as easy as, but for me, one of my struggles is making sense of what I really want to do, putting it into words.
And that's fair, and I'm quite sure you're not by yourself. And that's one of the reasons why we did the vision board, although it wasn't under Black America Cares per se. That was just
Okay.
something on the side me and another young lady did, but maybe that's something that I could and should incorporate into a Black America Cares event, because we all think differently, we all feel differently, we approach things differently, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a part of the process of who we are as individuals.
Mhm.
So hearing that the vision board, we called it the vision experience, because I didn't want to,
Mhm.
that's my little fly way of trying to be
Right,
different.
of course.
But yeah, hearing that it has such a profound impact on you is good to know. And like I said, maybe that's something that we can look into. And,
Yeah, I
and
mean, go for it because I'm a visual person. Like for me, that's it did like you said, it did make an impact on me because of how I learn, just how I absorb things around me. That's how I work. So yeah.
yeah, well, we're thinking about revisiting. I think I mentioned it at the event, 6 months from now. We just did it. What, that was last weekend, I think, or the weekend before. One, two, wasn't it was less than a month ago. I know that.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, 6 months from now, we may get together again and just see, kind of see the progress and see where we are, and then also how we can help um, each other actually manifest the things that we put on our vision board. So,
Mm, okay.
and then another workshop that Black America Cares has coming up. Um, we're thinking about doing some financial literacy classes, not only for adults but for youth as well. Do you think that that's something that you could benefit from?
Um, I mean, honestly, any class that I don't have to really pay for or a whole lot for, I'm jumping into it feet first because there are a lot of skills that am lacking. So yeah, absolutely, I'm sure I could.
Okay. I just posted in the group page maybe an hour or two ago. There are these three young ladies in South Carolina. Um, Free plug for them.
Right.
They they are 18, 16, and 15, I believe. And
Mhm.
their handle on Instagram is at Bratz Bundles. And these young ladies actually put money together some kind of way. I don't know the full story, but
Mhm.
to get to the point, they're in South Carolina. They have a vending machine, and the vending machine sells eyelashes and bundles of hair. Absolutely ingenious.
I did see that yeah, I did see that post. It is awesome. It is really awesome to see that, like, and something that that's how I became sort of a Jane of all trades because I was a youth like that. Like I would always, offer to like shovel somebody's driveway or something like that, to make an honest dollar for myself because it was always so easy to just slide into something negative and get into trouble, you
Right,
know.
right.
And
And
that,
I'm sorry, go
huh?
ahead. Go ahead, finish it.
That's just honestly something I did wish that they weren't doing away with so many youth programs because like they need a lot of them need guidance that is not there, and it's at no fault of their own. It's just generationally how they've had to grow, and just certain things like financial literacy and just simple stuff like home economics, like basic life skills, basic social skills, like they're at a loss out here without us, really trying to keep up with them and teach them these things. They're essential.
Exactly. And also, it's an effort to help keep them from getting in trouble. But for me personally, I like offering assistance. I feel like offering assistance is definitely needed because of how challenging it is out here just for the average person,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and so another goal though is to also help, I guess, empower people to not only come through Black America Cares to receive financial assistance, whether it's to
But branch
get,
off.
yeah, whether it's to get groceries or pay utilities or whatever, but to also help them look deeper within themselves and figure out ways that they may be able to improve their financial situation. And definitely for the kids. I mean, a lot of us are taught to just get a job as opposed to create jobs.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so that's where the entrepreneurship training comes in. So everybody can stay tuned for that. We're working on planning to put that together as we speak. And another thing that's important within our community that we don't talk about enough, and that is estate and final planning. Um, a lot of us right now, myself included, if I'm perfectly honest, are really not prepared for the unexpected. And the sudden passing of Kobe Bryant really is a reminder how anything can happen at any moment. And so that was, I don't want to say a wake up call for me because it's something that I've been thinking about for a while anyway. I have aging parents, and there's still things that they need to get straightened out, things that I need to get straightened out with my family. And I know anybody who has a young child, and this is where you come in at,
Hmm.
God forbid if something were to happen to you, who would take care of your young child,
Right.
some of that stuff needs to be put in writing because we don't want our kids to end up in a foster care system or with a relative that we wouldn't want them with and all that kind of stuff. So this would it would cover some of that. I plan to have someone from a funeral home speak to us, an estate attorney, a CPA because taxes can get involved with um, people passing, a financial advisor, a life insurance person, definitely, because a lot of us don't understand life insurance. Do we need whole?
Oh
Do we
no, I
need,
sure don't.
yeah, do we need term life? And then a bank professional,
Mm.
um what happens to our money when we pass, what documents are needed if someone needs to get access to your account. Or I know of a situation where there's an officer, he's in a coma. I think you and I were talking about this. He's in a coma right now, and so while he's in a coma, who's taking care of his affairs, who's paying his mortgage or who's paying his rent, um,
Right.
are the utilities off? What's really happening with his finances? So we would need to have knowledge of what happens like that. Who can have access to our bank accounts, and can we set that kind of stuff up now? So everything that we'll be doing, all our workshops will be free because it's our way of helping the community. And I just feel like that these are services that we shouldn't have to pay for, but somebody has to pay for it. And
Right.
so this is why I try not to ask too often for donations and things like that because I don't want to seem like a beggar. But I mean, we just got to be real with it. You know,
Absolutely.
people are always saying that the black community don't do this and the black community don't do that. And then when someone like myself puts something together to try to answer some of these questions and be the solution, people don't want to back it, and I have friends who have 3 and 4,000 followers and friends and what have you on social media. If they all just gave $5, just $5, we could just do so much with the money that we will raise from that. But it takes us working together and
Absolutely.
giving and I would love to find 50 more families like you and give them $100 or
Yeah.
pay their mortgage or help pay their rent or whatever the case may be. But we can't do it if there's no money available. So
Makes sense.
yeah, yeah. Well, Danielle, thank you. I'm gonna get off my little soapbox now. But
No, of
thank
course. I mean, you gotta let people know because I mean, it's we gotta do for each other and be realistic about it. Like you said, it doesn't come from any money pot, and we all know what we're all fighting against. It definitely, if there is a money pot, it's sure about to shrink. So we got to do what we have to do to raise our community up and out. You know,
exactly, exactly. And awareness is the key. So
absolutely.
as much as people want to help, I want to help. You know what I mean? I
Hmm.
want us to work together. We have everything we need within our community.
Hmm.
We just have to work together. So, if is there anything that you may want to add to the conversation that I may have left out?
Um, no, I just want to mention again that I face paint
Okay.
with my daughter. My contribution and for myself and my kids is I've always been big on trying to teach them how to be entrepreneurs and for them to not get stuck in, a 9 to 5 for too long if they had to, and to try to utilize the skills that God's given them to make life for themselves. So I just wanted to mention that and to kind of encourage, if I can, parents to kind of indulge in those things that their kids you may find gets on your nerves about your kids. Sometimes you got to pay a little bit more attention because that might be that thing that helps y'all all take off. Not to say use your kids, don't take the wrong thing
Hmm.
away from that. I'm not saying that, but there's more than basketball, there's more than football, there's more than becoming a rapper, and a lot of them you just have to pay a little bit extra attention to. They like playing chess, indulge, sit down for a second and play chess with them. If they like drawing, buy them supplies, be interested in what they're doing, you know,
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. It does a lot for them. And, I'm very proud of my daughter being a natural artist. And like my thing to give back to her is that. So,
that's beautiful. I love it. So, if somebody wanted to reach out to you for the face painting, do you have an email or anything that you use for that? What? How can they contact you?
I do. I do. It is just my regular email, Danielle Rayside at Gmail.
Okay.
I don't have a separate business email. We haven't gotten that much foot traffic yet, so I just use my regular email.
Well, after this, you may want to get that. Uh,
Well,
yeah,
I'm gonna claim it. I'm gonna claim it.
yeah. You may want to go
But
ahead.
yeah, we're novices, but we are pretty good. And like I said, it's just myself and my daughter, and my young 10-year-old is trying to learn what he can do to contribute. He does little tattoos and stuff, and it's really pretty cute. We're trying to formulate a family business for ourselves. So it's Footprints Face Paint is our business name, and it's Danielle Rayside at gmail.com.
Okay. So then we need to do a footprints face paint at gmail.com. So
Okay.
yeah, I may work with you on that to get that done up and running like ASAP.
Okay.
Because we don't want people flooding your personal email. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, we're gonna work on that. But anyway, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for sharing. And we're gonna keep working hard to serve the community. And I'll definitely keep everyone posted on those workshops that I mentioned. With that said, have a blessed night. Thank you.
Absolutely. Good night.
Thanks for joining us on the Black America Cares Nonprofit Showcase. Visit our website at blackamericacares.org and click on our resources tab to link to other organizations offering some of the services we talked about today. We hope today's episode provided you with the answers you were looking for. If not, subscribe and stay tuned because there's a lot more nonprofits to connect with, and I'm sure there's something out there just for you. Thanks for listening.